Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. Today we are going to be tuning into how this person feels about you, what their thoughts, feelings, emotions are for you. We're going to be getting into all of it. This was the winner on the poll I did here on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much to everyone who voted. I really appreciate it. And today we have a selection of different crystals for you to choose from. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. Basically, you're going to see which of these crystals is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then as soon as you make up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments in the description and jump right into your pile. By the way, if you like how I read tarot and you want to see more of it, then be sure to head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about who is coming towards you, as well as one about the first quarter of 2025. So if you want a glimpse into next year, that's a great one to watch. But like I said, there's so much content to choose from, and you also get early access to my YouTube videos. If that sounds good to you and you want to join me over there, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description for my Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour session, a full hour-length session, a tarot reading, channeling session, an astrology session, a combination, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to really customize your time with me, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good to you and you'd like to book a slot with me, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. So thanks for watching, guys. That's about all I have to say. So if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards and see how they view you. How do they view you? How do they view pile one? Okay, so starting off, we got the Chess Queen, Trust, Strategizing. The Dragon's Duel, Inner Conflict, Morality, Conscious Choice. And the Ringmaster of Scrutiny, Discernment, Clear Vision, Details. So what I'm getting right off the bat is this person sees you as very smart, and it's almost like they see you as a worthy opponent or something. What I'm getting is the vibe of almost like, I want to say, you outsmarted me, or wow, you won. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this person sees you as very smart, and there's an energy of you being unwilling to put up with the BS, or you maybe even being the one that got away for this person, or seeing through them in a very deep way that I feel like this person was not expecting. And it's almost like you beat them at their own game, is what I'm feeling. Like if this person was trying to run game, or they were trying to do something psychological to you, I feel like you like Uno reversed it and you flipped it back on them. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they broke up with you and they were hoping that you were going to be like sad and devastated, or they went no contact, or they blocked you, or they just never asked you out and didn't show interest, hoping like, oh, they're going to come to me, they're going to beg, and they're going to say how much they like me. And then instead, maybe you just moved on and lived your best life and were like thriving on your own. And I feel like for this person, it was a little bit of a wake-up call, a little bit of a moment of like, oh my God, okay, so that didn't work. And honestly, I feel like it was humbling for them. I feel like they are humbled by you. And for that reason, you won their respect. Because I'm not going to lie, I feel like for some of them, I'm getting the vibe that they have run this game before. And I do want to say game because that's the word that keeps coming to mind. And I feel like to this person, in a way, they have viewed things romantically as like a game before. Maybe not to the point of being like straight up evil or literally making a bet in like, you know, she's all that or something on that level. It may not have been that bad, but this person may have, you know, viewed dating or, you know, relationships as kind of like a winner loser game, or let me see how many people I can get to like me, or let me see how many people I can hook up with, or whatever. And then I feel like you were the one who was like, no. And it's reminding me of that quote that's like, oh, so you're a player? Well, nice to meet you. I'm the coach, you know? Like, I feel like this person really wasn't expecting that they would catch feelings. Maybe they thought you were going to catch feelings, and they may have done that in the past to others where maybe there were certain relationships that they felt like they left the person very heartbroken. And I feel like this person was kind of surprised at how engaged they were with you and how much they couldn't just like throw you away or use the usual like games and use the usual lines, use their usual formula, because I feel like you really saw through them. And I feel like that has kept their interest more than anything. So if this is a no contact situation and you're not talking to this person, trust me, they do think of you. I feel like you do play on their mind, and it's something that they really feel kind of hung up on or kind of like shocked by. I feel like there's a part of them that's like, wait, how did this happen? And what the F? Like, I feel like they still think about it, and it's almost like they're still trying to make sense of it. You know how when something like really crazy happens in your life and you're almost disoriented? And for a while after, like if you get randomly fired one day and you weren't expecting it, or if you like, you know, one of your siblings just, you thought you guys were getting along and then they just randomly tell you like, listen, I'm blocking you, I can't deal with your drama. And you're like, what? I didn't see this coming. It's one thing if you can like see it coming. I feel like there's a part of you that was either very secretive with them or you never gave it away. Maybe you never let them see the depth of your emotions. I feel like there's a part of you that's very intelligent, very composed. So maybe you may have had feelings for them, but you didn't like cry, beg, scream. You didn't show it. You didn't give them that validation. And so I feel like for them, there's a part of them that still wonders if you ever cared at all, if you really did have feelings, or if it was all an act. And there is a part of them that wonders that, like, were they playing me? Even if you're like, no, why would I do that? That's insane. That's absurd. What would I get out of it? There's a part of them that like in their mind, they're like, okay, they must have done this on purpose. They played me like a fool. And there is a little bit of, I want to say revenge, not anger, not like to that level, but there is a little bit of like, wow, okay, you played me. And I think it's almost made worse because this person has played so many others. Like this person is used to being the one doing that. It's always funny, right? How the person who's doing some behavior will get like outraged when it's done to them. You know, like the person that is always like shoplifting or something or getting free deals will be like shocked if they get overcharged at the store, you know, or vice versa. The store that's always overcharging would be shocked if someone shoplifts or whatever. I'm not espousing shoplifting. I'm just saying it's giving that vibe where this person is like, it's like, how can you be mad about this when you've engaged in the same behavior? How can you be mad that you got played, since that's how you feel, when you played so many other people? And I feel like you just didn't take the bait, or maybe you're very intuitive. It's giving me Scorpio vibes, honestly, pile number one. But I feel like you could really see through them and just read them. Like, I feel like you're very good at reading people, and you could kind of see when this person wasn't being serious, or maybe you just never took them seriously. Even if they were being serious, maybe you were just like, that sounds like a line. And as much as they may have been like, no, it wasn't a line, those are my feelings. It's like they can't even be mad because that is this person's usual MO. Like they run game, they lie, they do act like they care when they don't. So they can't really be mad, you know? Um, I feel like for them, this was definitely humbling, and this person does not like to be humbled. I want to pull from this deck. Let me see what messages from pile one with their person. How does their person feel about them? Empty well, time to replenish, the crossing, initiation. I feel like there's a part of this person that like, I don't want to say they're never going to recover. That's depressing. But I feel like they feel very wronged. There was a part of them that was very sensitive and that was very like hurt. There was a part of them that really got thrown for a loop by how you acted. And I feel like they, you know, it's almost like they didn't know how to react with you. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to handle that. They didn't know how to handle you. I feel like you expected better behavior from them than they were ready to give. You expected more from them than they were ready to give. Again, it's giving me the vibe. I don't know if this person is a player or if this person is very attractive and they've had a lot of people kind of at their beck and call. They've had a lot of people that maybe would accept any kind of scrap of attention from this person, any kind of bad behavior. They'd be like, oh, yeah, that's fine because at least I'm talking to this person and they're really hot or something. I feel like this person has like gotten away with stuff for a really long time, and there's a part of them that just didn't even know how to act right, like doesn't know that they have to, like, if it's a guy, pull out a chair or bring flowers, and is like, what, huh? Because it may have already always worked in the past, and they may have had people who were like falling at their feet, completely content to take the scraps. Then I feel like you definitely demanded more. You know your worth. And I feel like this person, they may have even told themselves narratives before they met you about, like, well, in a relationship, I will never do this. Or if they ask this of me, then it's over, you know? Or like, I'm never going to be with someone who's demanding, or I'm never going to be with someone who doesn't text me back. And then I feel like there was something about you that did all those things, and this person found themselves not only breaking their own rules, but even more into you because of that. And again, that's maybe why it's a little humbling, is I feel like there's a part of this person that, like, if their friends knew how they felt or how they'd acted, they would be like so embarrassed, you know, like they may have a very big reputation, or they may have some bravado with their friends where they act like, oh yeah, like I'm super cool and I don't tolerate any bad behavior and I am the one who calls the shots in my relationships or whatever. And then I feel like you coming in, you were like, okay, I'm not, and it's not even like you did it on purpose. That's the thing. That's what made this person so addicted. But it's like they broke their own rules and they blew past their own boundaries in order to get with you, in order to be with you. And now I feel like there's a little bit of shame. It's almost made worse because of that, because it's like they can't talk to anyone about it, you know? There's no one they can sit down with and be like, okay, so this happened, because they would be so embarrassed. Because again, this person also views the world through this mindset. Like they do have this idea of like dating as like there's a winner and there's a loser, and they're always used to being the winner. And their friends may even love that about them. Like their friends may live vicariously through this person with their dating life, or be like, oh yeah, that's Benji and he gets all the chicks and he hooks up with everyone and he plays these girls or whatever. And so it's embarrassing. Like for them, they feel like, oh my God, this is my identity. And if anyone knew that I'm such a simp for this person, or I can't stop thinking of them, or they played me, they broke up with me, they ghosted me, they blocked me, then they would be so humiliated and so embarrassed. Because I do feel like there's a vibe of you calling the shots. Maybe for some of y'all, you could even be in a relationship with this person. And if you are in an active relationship, just know that this person is low key kind of afraid of you. Like they are a little bit scared of you. They do think of you as like very powerful, very intense, very like, whoa, oh my God. And they do not want to be on your bad side. They do not want to mess with you. And I feel like this person has also like broken their own rules, humbled themselves to get with you, you know? And I almost feel like if you have had conflict with this person, it's excited them. Like if you have called this person out or blocked them, or maybe y'all had an argument at the beginning of the relationship where you put your foot down and were like, well, if you want to talk to other girls, that's fine, but you're never going to talk to me. And maybe you instigated a conversation about like intimate exclusivity or whatever by that way. And there was a party that was like, I don't know, maybe I went too far. I shouldn't have said that. But trust me, this person loves the feistiness. They love the passion. They love the heat. So yeah, don't be embarrassed or feel any kind of way about that. But let me get into some tarot cards for you as well. Let's see what the tarot says for pile 1. How does this person feel? That's so funny that we got the Empress reverse, because I feel like Like this person is so perfect. Like they do think of you as so beautiful, like the Empress, but they're also low key afraid of you. It's like they think you're beautiful, but they don't want to admit it. You know, they're also like, yeah, they're beautiful, but screw them. Like there's this mix of emotion, kind of being in awe of you, but also like resenting it, not wanting to admit it, not wanting to fully yeah, like ad- admit how vulnerable they are. I feel like there's a part of them that feels like they're kind of a simp for you, or they're kind of a little vulnerable towards you. Let's see what other cards we're gonna get for pile number 1, how this person feels. Let me fix these cards. Let's see, we got the Ace of Wands reversed. And we got the Nine of Cups. So again, with the Ace of Wands being reversed, they may have intended this connection to be just a hookup, just a one night stand, just a sexual connection, just a crush, just a like, I want to hit it and quit it and get with this person and then bounce. I don't really want to have to do any work. And I feel like that's not just an attitude they have towards you, but like that's just how they are used to running most of their relationships. They may not have had to usually invest or stretch themselves or be good in a relationship or really put work in, get their emotions involved, because this person may be so attractive that they're used to just like doing the bare minimum and kind of not really getting emotionally invested, and still the other person is like super into them. And I feel like with you, they have been surprised because the Nine of Cups can be that deep, deep emotional connection. It's where you feel like you can open up and be vulnerable, and you feel like you can tell this person things, and you feel really, really deeply connected with them. You may feel a soul connection. You may feel like, oh my God, how does this person know me? Do they know me from a past life? Like, this is wild. Have I met this person before? This is so crazy. And I feel like that's why this person has kept coming back, or why they can't stop thinking about you. It's almost like an addiction. It's almost like I can't get enough. I can't stop. I can't stop myself from thinking about them. The Nine of Cups also has a connection with addiction, drinking too much. That's why it shows 9 cups, right? So it's almost like no matter how much you drink, you're not satisfied. It's like we've had 9 and we're still wanting more, right? We're still happy, we're still enjoying. And so I feel like in a way this person got addicted to your energy, and it's like they just want more and more and more of it. If you did cut them off in the physical connection, in the physical realm, they may want to connect with you on the astral plane. If that's the only way they have to connect with you, that's how much they want your energy. They will take any version of it they can get. And yeah, I feel like this person, um, it's like, I feel like if they could, this is so funny, but they would connect with anyone else if they could. Like, in a way, not to say this person is not physically attracted to you, because they definitely are. But I feel like if they could feel this way towards anyone else, they completely would, right? Like, there's a part of them that's like, I am such a simp for this person, and I just wish I could like transplant these feelings to anyone else that was just easier, or like a million of the other people who are like super into me and will do whatever I want and are just would just be easy, easy, easy for me. But instead, I'm obsessed with this person that makes it so hard, you know? But I feel like they also like that. They like that you respect your boundaries. They like that you have high standards. And you're also very mysterious, and that's very attractive to them. You are not down for this Ace of Wands in many cases. Like, even if you do have a hookup, you may not get your feelings involved. Like, you're very self-contained, very independent. That's how this person views you. So they just feel like, okay, you know, the things that worked on everyone else does not work on this person. And I feel like that makes them more and more interested. Let's get some more cards for you. Pile number 1. So we got the Hanged Man. And let's get one more. What is this? The Ten of Pentacles reversed. Interesting. This person may feel like their usual techniques to impress people just don't work on you. So if in the past they were able to use money, they were able to use their looks, they were able to show off in some kind of a way, I feel like that just has not worked when it comes to you. You are the kind of person that I feel like your standards are even higher. And it's like, if this person felt like they got a lot of attention or they're used to calling the shots, again, you give that energy of like, well, I'm the coach. I'm even better. And it's like whatever you're doing doesn't impress me. Maybe in the past, they've been able to either with just their looks or with their money or social status or whatever. I feel like it's kind of superficial things impress certain people. I feel like you hold them to a higher level, you hold them to a higher standard. And you're not just going to be won over by those things, and you're not just going to be super easy. Like, that's a major theme, is you're not just fawning over them. And I feel like that keeps their attention coming back more and more and more. The Hangman is also ruled by Neptune, so you guys may have that connection on the astral plane. You may have that connection where you guys think of each other at night, dream of each other. You can tune into each other's emotions and feelings and know how this person is actually feeling and thinking and what they're going through. I feel like for them, they have tried to move on. For some of you guys, if you're in a no contact situation, this person has tried to move on and they made a like genuine effort to just like put you out of their mind, focus on other people, get past you, not really care that much. But it's like they can't help themselves. Their mind is always going back to you. They are always thinking of you. They cannot get themselves to stop. I feel like even though they've tried, it's just like I said, it's almost giving like addiction energy, like, oh my God, when am I gonna just get enough of this person? When am I gonna get finally my fix and be done and be able to leave them behind? But I feel like that just keeps them coming back, coming back, coming back. There's a part of them that just can't say no. There's a part of them that is just so tied to you and just honestly like needs you, looks up to you in a way. Like, I feel like this person respects your judgment. They want to hear what you have to say. They genuinely enjoy talking to you. They genuinely like to get inside your head, and they genuinely respect your opinions on things. Like, if y'all would be in a relationship, or if you guys are in a relationship, whatever's going on here, they probably like really actually like to hear your opinion. If they were going through something at work and they were like, okay, so my boss has been doing this, or I'm thinking of launching this project, and this is what we were thinking for the marketing strategy, and you had something to say about it, like you were like, oh, I don't think that's a good strategy, or you guys should have this kind of theme for the ad campaign, I feel like they would listen, they would care. It's like, oh, wow, okay, pile number one says that. Okay, let me drop everything and follow what they say. Let me go ahead and tailor that to their words, because they know how smart you are. And that's a big part of their appeal with you as well, is like, winning your good opinion means a lot to this person, and they really love to see you actually happy and to see you actually pleased. I feel like that does a lot for this person. Let me get into some astro dice for you. Pile number one. So we got the 12th house, that double Neptune connection. Then we have Gemini. So 12th house is Pisces. So we have Pisces, Gemini, and Mars, which rules over Aries, and a little bit of Scorpio. So we have Pisces, Gemini, Aries, maybe Scorpio. Okay, so the 12th house, that is, of course, the house of Pisces, connected through with Neptune. So again, like I said, that connection on the astral plane, where you guys may not have to be together in person, but you feel each other just through time and space. You feel each other's emotions. You feel a connection that goes beyond the physical and is more about your thoughts. You may dream of this person. The 12th house is also a house of enemies. So this person and you may have a slightly oppositional relationship. Maybe when you're together, you guys banter or bicker or go back and forth. I also feel like, there is this reinvention energy that kind of happens in the 12th house as it transitions through to Aries, because the 12th house is the final house of the zodiac. And of course it ends and then Aries begins. And we also got Aries. So yeah. So the 12th house is like the death moment, and then the first house, Aries, is where we're reborn. That's why Pisces season, 12th house season is the very end of winter, and then the beginning, and then Aries season is the beginning of spring. So it's like everything's dead and boom, we get reborn. And I feel like there's also a major transformation that happened with you, with this person as well, being confirmed as well by the Hanged Man, where if you made comments to this person about, I don't like your outfit, or like, oh, that you listen to that band, oh, they're so lame. This person may like find themselves unable to listen to that band again, or unable to wear that same clothing item if you like made fun of it or teased them about something, even if you meant it just lightheartedly. I feel like they really do take your opinions so serious. And there was a part of you that touched a part of them that was so deep. Pisces is this very deep part of our consciousness. It is a water sign, so it's very empathic, it's very open, it's very deep-hearted, and it's like deep ocean water. And I feel like you touched a part of their soul that a lot of other people didn't see. Pisces is also incredible divine acceptance, like the acceptance we get from God. It's lack of judgment. That's where Venus is exalted for that reason. So I feel like you, even though there was things you teased them about, and it's like you didn't accept certain behaviors from them, I feel like you actually did it out of a place of deeper non-judgment. Even though that sounds contradictory, like, oh, you're being harsh on this person, but that's non-judgmental. But it was, because in a way it's like you don't care about the BS because you see them so much deeper, and you know what a pure soul they are behind their dysfunctional behavior. They may be acting like a flirt or a player or running game or doing stupid stuff, and I feel like you could see their potential. You could see them and you knew their heart, and you really did accept them wholeheartedly. And that's why if they tried to give you a stupid line, or offer you like a stupid little date that they've taken everyone else on, like taking you out to the same restaurant that they've taken 50 other girls, you wouldn't accept that because you know they're capable of so much more. So in a weird way, it's almost like how a very neglectful, bad version of a parent is like that rich parent that will just give you whatever you want and be like, yeah, that's fine, sure, whatever, because deep down inside that parent isn't really paying attention and they don't actually care about us. And we know that intuitively. Even if they are buying us whatever we want and getting us lots of clothes, we know that they don't really care about us on that level because they're not willing to do the work and push themselves emotionally. And by the same token, even though this person may have had a lot of seeming love from other people or attention or people falling at their feet, they know that wasn't true love. That wasn't genuine seeing them for who they are, past the pretenses, past the fakeness. Whereas you really do. You see them on such a deep level. And I feel like that's something that this person just can't kind of recreate. That's something that this person is like, wow, that was very rare and unique. And I don't think I've ever been seen on that level. That's very Pisces as well. Pisces is super psychic, intuitive, and it can read people much deeper than the average. And I feel like you really read this person so deep and saw hidden sides of them. 12th house is hidden things, hidden places. So I feel like you really saw hidden facets of their personality that other people that may consider this person a good friend, or like, oh no, we're really cool, I know them. But it's like, no, not like you knew them. You knew them much deeper. Gemini, again, Gemini are incredible conversationalists. They rule over the third house of conversation, communication. Geminis are relentlessly curious and super talkative, inquisitive, curious about everything. And I feel like you give off that vibe as well. Again, I feel like this person really values your conversational ability, your input, your wisdom. I feel like for them, if something happens in their life, their mind may automatically go towards you. Like, what would pile one say? Like it's like those bracelets that say WWJD, what would Jesus do? And theirs is like, what would pile one have to say about this? So even if they're touring like a new apartment or they're moving, they may think of you immediately like, oh, what's pile one gonna say? Is pile one gonna like that? Oh, pile one loves a good view, so let me get this one with the good windows. Or pile one loves to cook, so actually I'm gonna, I'll go for the one with the bigger kitchen. Even if y'all aren't together, they may still have a part of their mind. or pile one loves wine, so let me get the one with the wine fridge, I literally moved into an apartment once for that reason. But anyway, that's a side note. But yeah, I feel like they may even picture themselves like if they tour an apartment, they may picture you like sitting on the countertop with them, or oh wow, like that's where she could do her makeup. She really loves makeup, so let me get the one with the light up mirror. There's a part of them that I feel like you're always in their mind. You're always playing on their consciousness. And they, again, love to get your approval. They love to have your judgment. They love to hear what you have to say. And I feel like, in a way, because you are so smart and intelligent and interesting, like Gemini is just a very interesting energy. A lot of famous Geminis are super controversial, but no one could say they're not interesting. Like Donald Trump, Kanye West, like a Gemini is always going to keep you, Azalea Banks, with interesting things to think about, even if you don't like them, you have to admit that. And that's the thing, is I feel like there's a part of them that even if sometimes you anger them or you trigger them or you upset them, they still are just like, okay, but valid points were made, or but they didn't stutter. It's like how sometimes maybe you totally disagree with something said by some of those Geminis that are really controversial, like Azalea Banks, but then there's a party that's like, okay, but that was a good point, or whatever. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's that vibe with you where maybe this person sometimes has a reactive, like, excuse me, how dare you talk to me like that? But then they think about it and they're like, okay, but well, you know what? They didn't lie. And I feel like they really respect that. They respect your fire as well. We did get Mars, which rules over Aries and Scorpio. And Aries is, well, they're both the fighters of the zodiac. They're both the soldiers. Aries is just the warrior at night, at day, during the day, diurnal, definitely during the day. And Scorpio is at night. That's a major difference between them. So Aries will fight you out in the open. Scorpio will do it underhandedly and behind your back. But they're both fighting, and they're both living in a world that requires fighting. A lot of Aries and Scorpio placements will just routinely find people coming against them. I mentioned that before, but someone I'm very close to in my life has Mars in the first house, Aries ascendant as well. And it's just amazing how, like, I have never seen someone get cut more in line, have a random, like, barista with a bad attitude, and they always have to, like, set them straight. They're always having to defend or stand up for themselves, or tell that person, like, hey, I was here first. And it's just something that's a theme for a lot of Aries Scorpio placements, is like they're gonna have to learn how to fight whether they want to or not. I feel like you have that energy that, like, you're not just looking for an easy good time. You're not just like chill, hanging out, whatever's fine. It's like you have a feistiness to you. You have a soldier energy or a warrior energy that I feel like this person finds very attractive. Like, there's a part of them that's just like, wow, like, I love this passion. And in a way, even though sometimes they may get upset by it, or there may be a part of them that's like annoyed or offended, but deep down inside, they are like, whew, that is sexy. And it may even make them think that you'd be very passionate in bed, or they just love to see that flashing in your eyes when you're passionate about something. They just love to see that intensity, that spark. And I feel like, in a way, they have tried to, because there's a lot of also, like, very like strong energy when it comes to Aries and Scorpio. Like, there's a passion, there's a heat, there's an intensity that you don't find in any of the other signs, to be honest. Like, when you're with an Aries or a Scorpio, you will feel that fighter energy. It's almost like you could imagine, like, I remember playing this really intense version. I think it was a game called Rambo when I was at camp when I was like 13 or something. And I'm still like, how was this legally allowed to be played? Because it was actually a church camp. So it's like, what? Because you were, it was like in the middle of the night, they woke you up, and then you go out and you have to run around in the dark. And the camp counselors are all armed with paintball guns, and then they shoot you. And if you get shot, then obviously you're out of the game. But it's like, wait a minute. What are the, like, I feel like that should be like a huge liability. Like, I don't even know if that should have been allowed. But anyway, it was. But I still remember that game so vividly. And just the feeling of being in the dark and knowing that, like, they're all around you. And crawling through the dark with your friends and like running from tree to tree. So intense, you know, and there's nothing like that rush that you find with Aries and Scorpio, that like living in the moment and feeling that potency so strong. And I feel like that's what this person gets with you. You know, they feel like, I can't get this rush from anyone else. It's like the feeling at the top of a roller coaster before it crests, before it goes down, where it's just like your adrenaline is fully pumping. You are so alive. You can feel things so deep, and both Aries and Scorpio have that. And I feel like that's the thing. This person may have tried to replicate this with someone else, but they just can't get that same feeling of intensity. They just can't get that same like rush that this person got from you. So that is what I have for you, pile number one. I really hope that resonates. If you want to see more of my readings, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where I post all my additional topics. I want to mention there's over 100 readings now. Really excited about breaking that boundary. And then you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about who is coming towards you, as well as one all about the first quarter of 2025. But like I said, there's over 100 extra readings. There's so many different topics to choose from. And you also get early access to my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up for Patreon, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, a tarot reading, astrology session, channeling session, a combination, a pre-recorded reading, a live reading. You get to customize your time with me, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile two, welcome to today's reading. Let's get into your cards and see how this person feels about you. How does this person feel about you, pile two? The Hungry Ghost, obsession, scarcity consciousness, attachment. So this person probably feels very attached towards you. They may feel like they're obsessed. There may be a part of them that wonders, why can't I get pile two out of my mind? Why can't I get pile two out of my brain? Why do I keep thinking about them? You know, this person may even pathologize themselves and kind of think, you know, there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm crazy. Like maybe I have a mental issue. Why is this person on my mind? Why am I obsessed? I feel like it goes very deep for them. It's like you play on their mind quite a lot. Let's get into some more cards for pile two. The Ringmaster of Scrutiny, Discernment, Clear Vision, Details. Okay. Interesting. And let's get one more card. The Arrow Master, Hitting the Mark, Intention, Detachment. Okay, so honestly, I'm getting a little bit of a Virgo vibe from this person. I'm not saying all of them have Virgo placements, but it's giving me the vibe of someone who is like obsessed with you, but may feel like they see your flaws at the same time. And that may even make them even crazier for you. Like, in a way, it's like that just adds to the level of obsession. Like, there may have been times when you felt this person was overly critical towards you, or you felt like they always had something negative to say, or you felt like, oh my gosh, like I can't do any right around this person. And you may have even felt like overly exposed with them. Sometimes when you're dealing with a Virgo or a Scorpio, especially when someone has double Virgo and Scorpio, but it can feel like there's no place to hide. Like you see all my details, you see all the bad sides, you see all my flaws, you see all these things that maybe I would usually hide from someone else. And they're just like completely, totally brazen about seeing all of that, taking it in, observing you in that way. And it can feel a little violating. But I feel like this person, as much as they study you, it just makes them more into you. Like, just know that even though you may feel a little bit judged by them, even though you may feel at times like they don't have anything positive to say, or what is their deal, I feel like the more they study you, the more obsessed they are. And definitely, this person is super, super into you. I can feel that really strongly. I also feel like at the same time, what I don't like about this energy is sometimes it's giving off the vibe of like a self improvement project or a home improvement project, kind of like, okay, let me fix this up. Let me try to improve this. I feel like there's also a vibe where you are very independent, pile two, and sometimes this person may struggle with that, or they like you so much that sometimes it could even lead to them being a little bit controlling, or sometimes you may have felt like, oh my God, like I need my space, or like you're asking way too much, or like, okay, just give me a little bit of a pause. And like I said, I think that's something that a lot of Scorpios, but I was actually going to say Virgos, can kind of, but there is a similarity in Scorpio and Virgo. That's why they have similar looking symbols. But especially with Virgos, where sometimes it can feel like, oh my gosh, like you're trying to control me, or you need to back off and like just accept me as I am. But I feel like that's the thing, is this person can't. It's like they are obsessed with you and they think about you a lot. I feel like it's almost like they study you, or they want to know all your details. They want to know all your little mysteries. And they are very obsessed. Like I feel like you are on their mind all the time, you know, and there is a sense of them sometimes being a little controlling, but I do feel like it's not from a place of trying to do anything bad to you, but more along the lines of like deep down inside, this person is terrified that you may leave them. They're terrified that you would lose interest, or that you would be like, oh, yeah, they're not so great or something. And this person just really wouldn't be able to handle that. Like they like you so much that that would be very, very difficult for them to handle. And they would have a very hard time with that. So I feel like in a way, this person tries to keep you close because they're so afraid that you're going to lose interest in them. And deep down inside, there may even be a feeling of not being good enough, even though this person may project that on you or try to make you feel that way. I want to get into this deck for you, pile number 2. So let's see what these cards say for pile 2 and how they feel about how this person feels about pile 2. Root girl, the disowned self. Watchers, transpersonal. Let's get one more. Okay, this fell out. Layers of the land, ancestral wisdom. This is really interesting. At times, it may feel like there's a little bit of a power play with this person, a little bit of a power struggle, where sometimes you may feel like they are trying to control you, or like they are trying to kind of like put a leash on you or boss you around a little bit. I feel like in a way, this person does see your flaws. They do see your traumas. And I think this is why Venus is debilitated in Virgo, because honestly, low key, like no one wants to be loved this way. No one ever wants to be loved in that Pisces way of like, which is where Venus is exalted, of like someone with rose colored glasses who just sees the good in you and just sees the beauty and just sees the perfection. So sometimes when we're on the receiving end of this and this person just sees all the little things that we need to correct, then it's very hard to deal with. But, you know, I feel like this person, maybe you guys have had a soul contract for them to come in and help you correct certain excesses, or to push you into certain behaviors that may ultimately benefit you long term. You know, what's coming to my mind is how Giselle Bündchen left Tom Brady. And anyway, now she's pregnant and with this like other guy, this guy she's been dating for the past few years that she may have had an affair with, who knows. But anyway, she kind of left Tom Brady in the dust after she had asked him to give up his football career, which has already been played out. And he said he was leaving. And she was like, I'm really done with doing the football thing. So this is my ultimatum. And he went back and did football again for one final season, even though he wasn't that good at that point, and he like did not live up to his former record. But she was like, okay, that's what you want to do, then I'm walking away. And she literally walked away and she lived up to what she said. And now, a few years later, she seems to be completely thriving. Anyway, my point in all that is that was probably a chance for him to self-improve and to look into his heart and be like, yeah, why am I obsessively chasing season after season of glory when I've already broken all these records? Why don't I focus on my family? Why don't I really focus on my wife and just, spending time with her? She's held it down for so many years, but for whatever reason, his ego wouldn't let him. Anyway, my point is that often in relationships, someone can come in for the purposes of having us kind of heal or grow or be different or improve ourselves, and it can be very triggering. And what's coming to my mind with this is that this person sometimes really may push you, or it may feel a little difficult. I could see there being a lot of conflict in this relationship. I also feel like there is an energy where this person sees a lot of potential in you, sees your best. But if you are feeling unappreciated by this person, pile number 2, then I can completely get that. Sometimes I feel like this person, it's just like they won't let you go. And yeah, I could see this going either way. I don't want to be too negative, and this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. But hopefully we get some more adoring cards, because no one wants to be on the receiving end of like only criticism. I do feel like this person is obsessed with you, does have deep feelings for you, but sometimes it may bleed over into like a little controlling behavior or a little bit kind of obsessive, kind of like bossing around type energy. Let's see what the tarot has to say about this with this person. What kind of tarot cards are we going to get for pile number 2? Okay, so we got a bunch. Okay, the 6 of Cups. I'm glad we got that, because there was a part of me that was like, oh my God, the 2 of Cups. Awesome. Yay. Okay, so it's improving. 6 of Wands reversed. So we have the 6 of Cups, 2 of Cups, Page of Wands. Okay, so yes, this person does have deep feelings for you, and it's giving the vibes of like a gruff, like one of those, I think there's a term for it in anime where there's like a character, I can't think of the exact term, but like there's a character who seems really tough, seems kind of unloving or harsh, but they're actually really sweet and they're actually really loving. And they may sometimes seem like they don't like someone, but they actually would like fight to the death for that person, or they would do anything for them. And yeah, with the 6 of Cups, the 2 of Cups, this person does feel deeply connected to you. They may have a hard time expressing emotions or getting vulnerable. There may be a part of them that views things as kind of like, oh, that's sappy, or oh, that's a simp, or oh, that's lame. And I feel like sometimes this person honestly does have a hard time accessing their emotional side, their emotional energy. And I feel like in a way you bring that out for them. Like you are their safe place, or you are their part of them that turns them into this little sappy, vulnerable little puppy dog that normally they wouldn't be acting that way. Normally they would be tough. Normally they would be stoic. Normally they would be, having a bit of a wall up. And I feel like they're able to feel much more vulnerable with you. I also feel like there's a part of them that wonders, like, why do I keep coming back to this person? Also keeping in mind, this energy could be flipped. You could have the energy where you kind of criticize them, or you see their potential and you see the dysfunctional ways they're acting. Like I said, bringing up with Tom and Giselle, I think sometimes when someone triggers us, as the saying goes by Rumi, the wound is where the light comes in. Sometimes where we get triggered is actually the biggest potential for growth. And like I said, with Giselle and Tom, I'm sure she wasn't saying you need to give up your football career and spend more time with your family and me, because she didn't love him. That's why she was saying it, because she loves him so much that she was like, I want to spend time with you. Like, I love you. Like, come on, let's hang out together. I want to be around you. I don't want to see you like half the year, and the other time you're just off practicing football and totally engaged in football season, right? But he didn't have the maturity to hear that, to receive that. So he was like, screw it, I'm going back to football. That's what I want to do. And, it wasn't conducive for that relationship. And sometimes, even though someone may be asking us to do something that compromises or pushes us or takes a lot from us, that can actually be our opportunity for deep soul growth and for transformation. That's actually incredibly positive. And I do feel like there's an energy here where either one or both of you, or you or this person, like sees the potential in the other and kind of pushes them and sees them down to like a core level. Some of you guys may also have, I'm getting like South Node synastry. So you guys may have known each other from past lifetimes, as well as you may have Saturn-Venus synastry. So like a Saturn-Venus conjunction, Saturn-Venus trine, sextile, any aspect, even like an opposition or a square. But I feel like you guys have that energy where sometimes when you first hear about a Saturn-Venus conjunction, you may assume, oh, that's going to be really hard for the relationship. Saturn conjuncting Venus, so they're going to fight all the time. It's going to be a lot of strife. It's going to be a lot of trouble. But actually, it can be a huge, when you see that in synastry, it's actually a huge indicator these people are going to last for a really long time. And so in that sense, it's very beneficial. But it may be one of those relationships where they both push each other, where they both are like, working really hard on the relationship, where it's not just smooth sailing honeymoon mode all the time. And anyway, I feel like this person, they see you as someone that maybe expects more from them than they're ready to give, or vice versa. They may feel like you were like, I'm not doing that. Or they may have felt like you didn't feel the love from them, or you underestimated their feelings. With the Page of Wands, they may feel like you even felt like they were just a player and they had deeper emotions for you than you realized. I feel like for them, for both of you guys, there could have been a lot of miscommunication. There could have been a lot of like ships passing in the night, things unsaid, things not voiced correctly, things that didn't come out right, things that were misspoken, missed opportunities. I feel like in a way this person feels like there was an opportunity for growth here, and either they blame you or they may beat themselves up over it. They may feel like, I really bungled this, or, they may blame it all on you. And there is an energy of you guys both triggering each other and pushing each other. And possibly, if this is like a no contact or X situation, someone just being like, I can't do this. Like, this is too much. This is requiring too much of me. Like, I'm not ready to push myself out there to this point. I feel like in a way, this person does see your flaws, and like I said, we all want to be loved in that Venus and Pisces way, of just someone who sees us through those rose-colored glasses as perfect. We could never do anything wrong. We're just an angel. And of course, we love that. But, there is a deep commitment when you get to the earth signs, including Venus and Virgo, that it may not be as romantic. It may not be as giving you flowers every day, or like reading you the most beautiful poetry. It may be a lot more boring. It may be like, I'll pay the bills for you, or I've got you. If your car breaks down, I'll come and pick you up. And it's not going to be the same like romance as that person that writes you the flowery letter, or photographs you, or like dances with you, and but you may actually feel like it lasts so much longer. And I feel like this person, like, they would do anything for you. They would protect you. They would look after you. They would take care of you. And in that sense, it is a really deep love. They may feel like they can look to you so deep in your soul, and you guys have some kind of shared mission, or you guys were, again, this is often a South Node thing or a soulmate past life thing. You're put in each other's life to finish playing out karma, or to teach each other certain lessons. And again, with karma, it doesn't necessarily mean that someone screwed the other person over, killed them in a past life, hurt them, did something awful, but it could mean that someone has a lesson to learn that they didn't learn the last go around, or there's an energy that needs to be reciprocated back, or there's a hard lesson that was never fully learned, or there was something that needed to be worked through energetically, and now it's time to finish up that business. And it's a huge part of soul growth. So I do feel like this person feels deeply connected to you on the astral plane, and they just feel connected to you. There's also, I'm really getting a strong sense of ownership or possessiveness towards you, where I feel like this person honestly would be very jealous if you were to like be seen with someone else, you were to actually move on. Like, they really feel like you're mine. Like, I don't want to say something like I own you, but there's a part of them that is like, no, you can't go anywhere. Like, I'm not tolerating that, because like, I just feel like there's also this energy where you're the only thing that's really interesting to this person. Like, you fascinate them. They think about you a lot. I feel like they think about you in their spare time. You know, you play on their mind. They kind of can't get enough of you. Like, there's also a deep sense in them of wanting to please you, wanting to make you happy. Again, it's giving Earth Venus. I just keep getting Virgo Venus placements or Virgo placements in general, Earth placements, of like wanting to please you, wanting to be good enough. That's a very Earth thing. It's like, I want to rise to the occasion. I want to be good enough. I want to be the best. I want to work hard. And that really gets Earth placements off in a way that like none of the other signs can understand. Maybe fire signs also are competitive, but yeah. I feel like for you, this person like wants to see how good can I be, and your approval means a lot to them. There's also this very strong protectiveness I'm getting. Like, they want to protect you. They want to look out for you. They want to take care of you. They want to, I feel like there's a part of them that does see you as very vulnerable. Like, there's a part of them that sees you as a little bit of a broken bird. And again, I think it can be very irritating to be on the receiving end of that, at least for me as a Pisces. I'm like, excuse me, I need you to be as delusional as I am. View me as perfect. I can do no wrong. I am just a perfect angel that dropped into your life. But, you know, as much as that is true, as Pisces, we're not necessarily the sign that you're going to call if you like got a pop tire or something on the highway. We're not as like reliable, you know? So there's something to be said for that protectiveness you get with this kind of Earth Venus energy I keep getting, that may not be the most romantic, but they would fight for you. They would do anything. They will work for you. They will put the work in. And as much as it may stink to sometimes be seen so for our flaws, there's also something deeply healing about being on the receiving end of that acceptance. Like I said, with a delusional Pisces Venus, where it's like, you know, that person just sees you as like, wow, they're perfect. And that's beautiful to be on the receiving side of, but it's also like, this person doesn't really know me, you know? And so they view me in this distorted way. In the same way, a lot of celebrities, they don't really get a sense of satisfaction from their fans as much as they may have thought they would before they got famous. But like, these fans, they will say like, the fans don't know me. They don't understand me, because there's something about that adoration that comes from a place of like not knowing something that's kind of hollow, right? And it's a lot different from being loved when someone knows your flaws, they know your issues, they know your drama, they know all your downs and your bad side, and they still think you're attractive. You know, it's the difference between someone who's into you when you're in full makeup and like you look so glamorous and perfect and beautiful and you're all dressed up, versus someone that loves you when you have no makeup on, you just woke up, you look scraggly, you know, you look raggedy, and you're just like bleary-eyed, out of sleep, no makeup on, you know, your old ratty pajamas, like you know, haven't showered yet and you haven't brushed your teeth and your breath kind of smells like morning breath, and they still are like, wow, you're sexy. That's a different level of acceptance. And I feel like that's how this person feels. Like, there's almost no part of you that you could show that would make them like run away. You know what I mean? It's giving, I just heard that line in my song. I just heard this line in my head from Carly Simon, where she's like, there's nothing you could do that would turn me away. Nothing anyone could say. You're with me now, and as long as you're here, loving you is the right thing to do. But I just love, I think that's like maybe the most romantic line in a song. There's nothing you could do to turn me away. Nothing anyone could say. Like, isn't that what we all want? That person that is like, I'm committed. I'm not going anywhere. You know what I mean? And again, as much as Pisces is where Venus is exalted, you don't necessarily get that level of commitment from a mutable water sign. You know what I mean? I mean, let's be real, you definitely don't. Let's get two more tarot cards. King of Wands reversed, as well as the Five of Swords. So there can be an aspect of sometimes manipulation with this. I feel like sometimes this person also, if it's hard to know, because I feel like there may be a lot of people in a relationship with this person who picked this pile, but also I always want to look out for my no contact girls, ex, twin flame, separation. If you guys are in a relationship with this person, there may be a sense that they are sometimes so afraid of losing you, they may result to tactics of manipulation. If you are no contact with this person, that may be how they lost you, or how you guys, like, I feel like sometimes you get exhausted with them and you can feel the extent of their kind of obsession with you. And sometimes it makes you be like, ugh, screw you, or I want my independence, or whatever. And I feel like that may make you act out, or make you like run or push their buttons, or be like, I'm going to date everyone. You know, there's also that energy with the Page of Wands and the King of Wands reverse, that someone may be dating around all over town. It may be you, it may be that person, or there's a vibe, again, is a general reading, take what resonates, leave the rest, of someone who wants to make it abundantly clear that they are not doing that. They're committed. They are not just playing. They are not just, you know, doing games. Like, they are genuinely 100% in, and there's no element of like, I just want to hook up with you and dump you. And they may be wanting to make that clear, or they may be concerned with you, because I feel like there is a chance that for some of you guys, especially if you're no contact, you may have like broken up with this person, or there was the ending to whatever this was, and you were like, well, I'm going to date all over town and I'm going to rub your nose in it because I know it'll make you mad. So maybe you posted someone on like your Instagram stories the next day, you know, to make them jealous, or to just make them mad. And I feel like this person did not like that, but I feel like they also, again, they have told themselves certain things like, well, if they ever do that, I'm done. And then you do that, and then they're like, oh, I still like them so much. I'm still thinking of them. So they may have promised themselves like, I wouldn't be into you if you ever did this. And then you do it and they're still thinking of you. But there is an aspect of someone who's worried about the other person being a player, or thinking about that being a possibility. And I feel like that just really gets under their skin. Like, the idea of you dating someone else, moving on, being with someone, may really drive them up a wall. And if this was like a no contact situation where y'all never actually dated, or you guys were hooking up or whatever, there may be a part of you that just feels like, oh my God, like, this is completely out of pocket. Like, what right do you have to, you know, ask me if I'm seeing someone else, or lurk my social media, or like stalk my Instagram when we were never exclusive, or whatever? You didn't ask me of that. So how can you go ahead and be mad that I'm like seeing someone else? I feel like they kind of know it's out of pocket. There's a part of them that knows they have no right for that, but they literally kind of can't help themselves. They may have never felt this jealous or this possessive of anyone else, especially if you actually are in a relationship with this person. Let me get some astro dice and see what astrology we have going on here. So we have the first house, aka Aries. Then we have, oh my gosh, that is so crazy. Wow. So we have the nodes, and I mentioned those. And then we also have Scorpio coming out. So a lot of Mars. So there may be a lot of conflict in this relationship, like I said. Sometimes you may be like, oh my God, do you even like me? I feel like this person, sometimes they're not the best at coming out and being super romantic and telling you how they feel, or being like, I'm in love with you. Let me write you this love letter. Let me, you know, give you flowers and blah, blah, blah. But I feel like their emotions are there. They're also very attracted to you. That's another interpretation we have of the Page of Wands and then the King of Wands reverse. They may feel like they don't have any control of their sexual attraction towards you. Like, for them, and maybe something they even want to tamp down on, or there's a part of them that feels like, okay, I do see all of pile number two's flaws. Like, I'm aware of them. So why can't I stop caring so much? Why can't I be less attracted? Like, I should be turned off. I should be done. I should be ready to move on. But I just think they're so sexy. And that's a part of it, you know? It's just like this overwhelming desire that keeps them coming back for more, even when there's a part of them that feels like, okay, this is stupid. I shouldn't feel this way. I should move on, or I should just not care that much. And yet they really, again, the attraction fuels this, because, both the sex appeal signs, Aries and Scorpio, they're both ruled by Mars, which is the energy of the sex drive. So this person definitely feels very strongly attracted to everything about you. I also feel like, again, Mars is where we can get into a lot of jealousy, especially with Scorpio. There is that possessiveness. There is that sense that, like, nobody knows you like I know you, and I have some kind of ownership of you. Scorpio is also a very deep connection, wanting to connect not just on a physical level, but on a soul level. And not just only on a soul level, but physical also. Like, Scorpio wants everything. Scorpio is all encompassing. Scorpio is where you really meld into one other person. That's why it rules the eighth house of shared resources, and also the house of sex, is because it's all about all the myriad ways that we join with someone and we just stop being one individual soul and we turn into like one part of a dyad or two people or whatever. I also feel like, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something and it just left my mind. Um, I don't know. I can't remember what it is. But I do feel like it's very meaningful that we got the nodes, because I've been picking up on that. I feel like this person feels like they have a destiny towards you. And they also feel like you guys have this intense south node connection, this past life connection. They may feel drawn to you like a magnet, despite all of their intentions, despite their logical brain, despite every effort on them. And they may feel like there's unfinished soul business that you guys have, unfinished karmic business, unfinished work that they want to do with you, and this kind of pull towards you that may not make sense in their logical mind. That, logically they're telling themselves, you should see other people, or you have options, or listen, pile number two doesn't want anything to do with you and it's time to move on, and they blocked you or whatever. But they just can't stop coming back for more. And if you are in a relationship with this person, this is a very strong tie. Like I said, it's giving me also Venus Saturn vibes, where you guys might just be together for life, because it feels like it's just that connection that, like, there's nothing you could do to really fully push this person away. Like, no matter what happened, no matter what y'all went through, they would still be standing there on the other side. They would still be interested in you, and they would still be there for you. Like I said, it's like how, there's energies of like the king of, or sorry, the page of cups or the knight of cups, or the knight or page of wands, where maybe at first you're just like, oh my God, this person is so romantic. They're so charming. They just do everything right. Oh, wow. They're so perfect. And I love this. And I've never felt romance. And they wrote me a love letter, and they, took me out dancing, and it was magical. But it's like that person that may ghost you, that person that may be a player, and they know how to write those love letters because they've written 30 other love letters, and they take this girls out to the same spot every time and dance with them under the moonlight because they know it's romantic, because they're a player and they've run this game before. I'm not saying that's the only option you have to choose between unromantic, solid, committed energy or the passion, but I am saying it's something to be aware of, that sometimes that person that's pulling out all the stops, or they're quote unquote doing everything right, isn't necessarily coming from that place of authenticity. And I feel like with this person, they genuinely really mean it. They're like genuinely there, and you don't have to worry about them ghosting you or not coming back or not being committed. Like, they are 100% committed. And then I also wanted to mention that it's interesting we have Aries and Scorpio, because I have been mentioning Venus being in fall in Virgo the whole time. And then we have the two signs where Venus is debilitated. So again, it's giving me that energy of someone that may not come off perfect in love, may have pitfalls, may have flaws, but at the end of the day, they're there for you. They really do care. And sometimes there may be things that you kind of have to overlook, or ways they talk to you, or ways they get across their opinion. One of the downsides of, I think, both Venus and Scorpio, Venus and Aries, are very charismatic signs that usually don't have issues with getting dates or anything like that. But they can be very passionate to the extent that sometimes they can, like, freak people out, you know, like an Aries Venus, their way of flirting may be seemingly combative. They may come up and insult what you're wearing, but that's their way of flirting and they want to see you kind of like spar back. Or a Scorpio, again, a Venus Scorpio, it may be overly possessive at first and be like, who are you going out with tonight? And you're like, I don't even know you. I met you an hour ago. How do you even feel comfortable asking me that, you know? So there is that energy where sometimes they may put their foot in their mouth or not present themselves in the right way. They may even trigger people, being ruled by Mars. And then, of course, Scorpio being also ruled in modern astrology by Pluto, which is a very triggering energy. And sometimes, you know, there may be a connection too with that Pluto Scorpio with like wanting to know your traumas, wanting to know your dark side. Again, things that would scare off any other sign or placement. When you have a Venus and Scorpio, they're going to love it. They're like, show me the dark. And Venus and Virgo, I've been mentioning those signs throughout. It's definitely giving that Scorpio Virgo combination where it's like, I want to see your downsides. It's like, it reminds me of this Taylor Swift song, New Year's Day, I think, where she's like, everyone else, everyone else has your midnights, but I'll be picking up bottles with you on New Year's Day. Something about that, where it's like everyone else has your fun, glamorous New Year's Eve night where like everyone's popping champagne and partying, but I want like the next day when like the apartment's a mess and we're having to mop up confetti and it's really boring and not everyone wants to stick around for that. A lot of people want to just be there for like the fun party. And this is someone that I feel like really sees your flaws, sees deep into your soul, or may feel like you see deep into their soul. Like if you opened up and shared vulnerable things with them or you told them about childhood trauma or insecurities or something, just know this person is not scared off by it. If anything, they like that. They're, I don't want to say turned on by it, but they do like that and they love like the intimacy they shared with you. So yeah, that's what I have for you, pile 2. I really hope that resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about who is coming towards you, as well as one about the first quarter of 2025. So if you're interested in those readings or you want to watch any of the other 100 exclusive readings or get early access to my YouTube videos, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be me pulling tarot for you, reading astrology, just channeling, a combination, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to really customize your session so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good and you'd like to sign up, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. So take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards. Let's see how this person feels about you. How does this person feel about pile 3, Spirit? Okay, so first card is the Fire Prince, optimism, aggression. Okay. How does this person feel about pile 3, Spirit? We have the Desert Prince, survival, false promises. And finally, we have the Spiral Dancers, circuitous route, perception. So I keep getting this energy. It's interesting we got 2 princes because I feel like this person is very concerned with your perception of them. There's a part of them that feels like you don't like them, or they're worrying about how you feel, or about, especially if they did something bad to you or they like angered you. I feel like there's a part of them that really ruminates about how you feel or about what they did wrong, or may even go back and forth and vacillate in their mind between like, I didn't do anything, they're crazy, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. Really regretting it, really looking back on it and kind of like beating themselves up. I feel like in a way, meeting you has been triggering for this person because you have made them kind of, I'm hearing that line from like Jerry Maguire, I think, that's like, you make me want to be a better man, where I feel like sometimes you have triggered this person Or there may have even been an energy when they first met you where they were trying to like prove their independence or prove that they don't care or prove that like you're not the boss of me. Like it's almost like that childish, like toddler energy of like, hey, I'm not going to let you control me. And then I feel like if they do something to like establish their independence and you're like, okay, bye, well, then go be independent, then this person like really regrets that. And then they find themselves being like, no, 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 I didn't mean that. Um, so I feel like even in their mind, there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of change. There's a lot of telling themselves they don't care and then being sad if they see you out posting or living your life. There's a big part of them that I feel like does like worry about your approval even as much as they pretend not to. And in a way, the more they sense any disapproval from you, the more they may kind of take on this like very belligerent attitude or mindset of like, hey, I'm not going to be bossed around or whatever. I feel like this person struggles between their own identity or even being triggered by you because I feel like they have never felt so drawn to someone. And in that sense, they may have rejected the power you have over them. They may have resented that. They may have felt like, hey, like, they're playing games with me. Or even it's reminding me of how, I think I heard that in the witch trials and stuff, some of the witches who were on trial would be on trial because like there was a guy who was very attracted to the witch and couldn't stop thinking of her or was like having quote unquote impure thoughts because this was like the 1600s or whatever. So having sexual thoughts about this woman, and instead of just taking it on as like, you know what, that's my cross to bear, so to speak, and I need to figure this out, and maybe I'm already married, so I need to be loyal to my wife and I need to work on controlling my thoughts. They would blame the witch and be like, she put a spell on me, she put a curse, she did a love spell. And I feel like there's that vibe where this person may literally, like, especially if they know you're into tarot or astrology or something, they may wonder like, did they put a love spell on me? Did they do something? Did they enchant me? Why can't I stop thinking of them? And sometimes it may upset them or drive them up a wall that they do think of you because they do view you as like having this power over them. They do view you at times as like very much the one in control in the driver's seat. And sometimes I feel like they may strive to almost like prove to themselves the opposite. Like, I don't care about this person because they may tell their friends that, or they may be like, I'm not a simp. And then they find themselves thinking of you, looking at your pictures, whatever. So there is this kind of immature vibe I get for some of them where the more they feel, the more they want to run away, the more they want to go out of their way to prove that they are independent or that they just don't care that much. They may even have some commitment issues, have a runner chaser vibe where they don't feel ready for commitment. They don't feel ready for that level of, they may not feel good enough deep down inside. I feel like sometimes they use their ego as a way to hide their low self esteem because deep down inside, there may be a part of them that really does feel like, I'm not good enough, or like, I can't hold down this relationship. I'm an F up. You know what I mean? I'm troubled. I have so many problems. Um, in a way, they may even feel like not good enough for you. They may feel like you're better than them or you deserve more or whatever. And that may be something that really bothers them is, this feeling that they can't live up to you. I feel like some of you guys have like higher standards or they view you as such a prize. They view you as someone that lots of people would want to date. So it's almost like they kind of know they have to bring their A game with you. And there's a part of them that thinks, you know, I don't know if it's worth it, or I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can put in this work. I've never had to put in this work. So they may even seek out people who are easier to deal with or people that just give them attention right off the bat because they know the level of soul work it would take to be with someone as evolved as you. I do feel like they are aware that you are very spiritually ascended, pile 3. They are aware maybe that you are a little witchy, and I feel like that sometimes intimidates them. They may feel like you're connected with them on the astral plane. And again, when they can't stop thinking about you or they're having obsessive thoughts, there may be a part of them that kind of like freaks out about that or feels like, oh my God, like what did they do? Did they light a love spell? Like, did they light a love candle? They're doing something because this isn't coming from me. And again, there could be a red flag with this person where they may sometimes avoid responsibility and like blame things on you because they don't want to fully reconcile with their emotions and admit how much they do care, and admit that they feel vulnerable, admit that they, they care what you think, and like their emotions are in it. And it doesn't feel good for this person. They may have constructed ideas around, power, or who gets to call the shots in the relationship, or who should be the one who's strong or whatever, and it may not fit into their mindset to be the vulnerable one or to be the one who is pouring their heart out to you. So they may kind of go out of their way to prove that they don't care, or maybe even to prove to their friends or to other people. They may be very aware socially of what expectations people have of how they should act, like, oh, I'm not going to be a simp, or I don't want my friends to make fun of me, or something like that. So yeah, I feel like sometimes they do come at it from a little bit of an immature perspective, and because they do like you so much, sometimes that triggers them. Sometimes that makes them unable to act from a place of authenticity and get really vulnerable and get really emotional and like truly come to you and be humble about it and tell you, like, honestly, this is what I'm feeling, and I really like you. I kind of feel nervous around you. You make me nervous. They would just not be capable of that level of vulnerability. So it's easier for them to act like they don't care. It's easier for them to run from their own emotions and just brush it off and just hide from it. Let me get into some more cards for you. Pile number 3. What cards we have for pile 3. How does this person feel? Beloved, radical acceptance. So they do genuinely have feelings for you, pile 3. I feel like in a way, this person has felt very known by you and very understood by you. Like you see them on a deep level, and that scares them. Even though you may accept them, even though it may have been a level of vulnerability that actually felt quite nice to them. They may have felt like, wow, I actually opened up to pile number 3 in a way I've never opened up to anyone. And like, that was amazing. And I feel so good. And that was very healing. But then there's a part of them that like turns on that's like, oh, that's lame, or no, you shouldn't be telling someone that. You shouldn't be telling them about your flaws or about your fears. You need to be acting like, I don't know, the tough guy or the cool girl or whatever. So that's when they backtrack, and that's when they kind of like, I almost feel like this person does engage in some self-sabotage, or again, like runner chaser energy, where sometimes they might deliberately ruin things, or they may, once they feel themselves getting vulnerable, once they feel themselves opening up, that's when they kind of like do something to pop that balloon and ruin it, on purpose, because it's like, it also clashes with their self-image. They have this image of themselves as what they want to be, what they want to come across as, and it's like Mr. Cool or Miss Cool. Like, I don't care. I don't have those emotions. I'm not a simp. I'm not a loser. And in a way, because they feel so strongly for you, that really questions their actual self-image, and it puts into question like whether they are that person. And I feel like that is very hard for their ego. There's a big sense of them being drawn to you like a magnet, but also being terrified, or like being drawn to a flame, but then getting burned when you touch it, So I feel like this person goes back and forth. And if they did do something big to sabotage this relationship, they may definitely regret it now. They may definitely live in that place of like, that wasn't worth it. But I also feel like if this person did something to sabotage the relationship, it may take a very long time for that to dawn on this person, depending. For some of them, it literally could take years of like delusional denial, like, I'm good, I don't care, I'm thriving, it doesn't bother me, and then being sad about it at night, regretting it, when they really have time to think. And they may also do things to distract themselves from that, where they would keep themselves busy, date other people, run around and like keep their schedule stacked, or even like do things like drink a lot or take various substances to make them not as consciously aware, because I feel like the pain is almost too much for them to bear, and they're not very good at dealing with it. They're not very evolved in that sense. Let's get some more cards for you, pile number 3. How does this person feel about pile 3? Let me get one more. Okay, so we got lost compass, getting back to integrity, and also stars in the sky, limitless possibility. I do feel like there's a part of them that really does like turn on and just imagines this future with you that they could never almost imagine with anyone else. Like they may have this really soft side, and if they did make comments to you about like, you know, I want to like live with you and like let's just like get a house together and like let's get married, and now you're like, okay, was all that BS, or was it just a line? Was it just something they were just saying just to get in my pants or just to like get attention from me? No, I feel like that's the thing. That's almost when they're being honest. Like that's the only time when they're being honest, because usually they're living in so much bravado and fakeness, and there's a part of you that brings out the truth from them. They may have been more vulnerable with you than they were with anyone else. And I feel like for them, there is this sense that sometimes they're not ready for that truth. You know, I always think that soul growth work is a lot harder. It's a lot more difficult than it sounds. A lot of people think with soul growth work, you're just going to be going to like yoga workshops and just having a great time all the time. But a lot of it is like going into like your childhood trauma, working through past life trauma, really pushing yourself into a place that feels uncomfortable, admitting your flaws. And that's not a great energy, especially when someone's already feeling emotionally fragile. And I feel like for this person, they like you so much, but it has also brought out that side of them that is like very uncomfortable with these emotions and just feels more comfortable. They may even seek out like easier relationships with people who are going to fawn over them, people who are going to be like, wow, you're awesome. Even though these people don't know them like you know them. And I'm hearing that line from like the Yeah, Yeah, Yeahs maps where she's like, wait, they don't love you like I love you. I feel like there is that sense where they know those connections are hollow, but they can't help themselves because at least it strokes their ego. And that's the thing, is they may seek it out and feel very gleeful at the time, like, ha ha ha, I'm getting this attention. But then later, really regret it, really live in that place of like, wow, I feel so stupid. And I feel super lonely. Like, I feel like they had this sense of togetherness with you that really made them feel super known, super understood on such a deep level. And even though they may have other connections that may seem fun or exciting, or they may do a lot of things to distract themselves and like occupy their time that may seem engaging, like they're having a blast, they're out at a party, or they're going to a nightclub, or they're hooking up with lots of people, it's ultimately very hollow. And they do have this deep sense of loneliness that I feel like you kind of really assuaged for a while. You really made them feel more understood and more known. And now they're back to feeling kind of by themselves. So even though that emotion may take a long time to kind of catch up with them, where for the longest time they may be able to lie to themselves and say, like, no, I'm thriving, I'm happy. The truth is, I feel like, yeah, it does get to them and it does bother them. And honestly, I feel like sooner or later they're going to have to admit to themselves that they kind of messed up. But for some of them, that may take a while. Let's get into some more cards for pile number 3. How does this person feel about pile 3? How does this person feel about pile number 3? Ooh, the Devil card. Okay. And then we have the 8 of Wands. So whenever we have the Devil card, that is definitely an energy dealing with our traumas, dealing with our tendencies. It's definitely also about addictions, all kinds of, I think, self-sabotage behavior, delusional behavior, destructive behavior, behavior where we may feel a compulsion to do it, like we're just doing this and we're not even processing it. It's just this mindless. It literally shows two people chained. So, you know, a lot of times if someone's engaging in something compulsive, you may ask them like, well, why did you do that? Like, why did you rob that liquor store? Or why did you, cheat on your boyfriend when you love him? And their answer may be like, I don't know. And it's like they didn't think it through, you know? They just felt like they had to. They were just in a state of panic. And I feel like with this person, there's a lot of that. Like they don't like to think about it. They don't want to have to look deep inside their soul and be honest with themselves about what's going on. So it's almost easier to just ruin things, screw it up, and sabotage it all. And then later, that's when the regret comes in. But again, it may be very unconscious, and this person may also seek out certain substances that take their mind off what's happening. So they may go out and drink a lot. They may use other substances, illegal substances sometimes, to put their mind in that altered state so they don't have to feel pain. Again, I think that the energy of the devil is mostly very unconscious. It's things we just do compulsively, not consciously. We don't think of them through. So I feel like this person is existing in that place of feeling impelled and maybe not even questioning. Like they may have a friend group that goes out and parties all the time, so that's just what I'm going to do. Or they may, end up just playing video games all the time and distracting themselves. And if you ask them, like, well, why did you waste your whole Saturday playing video games? They're just like, well, I don't know. I just did it. It just felt good. There's that big energy where this person almost doesn't want to think about you because it's too painful. So they avoid those thoughts, and they just kind of focus on the momentary sensations that bring them pleasure. I feel like sometimes they do think about reaching out to you with the Eight of Wands. They definitely question, like, should I reach out? Should I say something? Should I contact them? But then there's also that part of them that just is terrified. And also, to a certain extent, I feel like for some of them, there's this sense that they did win, so to speak, or they did come out as the one in power or the one looking good. So if they were to contact you and be vulnerable, they would feel kind of dumb. They would hate to have to confess to you and be like, yeah, I really regret it. And honestly, I look back and I feel like the biggest idiot that I did that. That is not, this person is very ego driven. This person is very concerned with, even like they might worry about what you would tell others, what you would say to someone and what their friends would say. So that may be another reason why they just keep quiet and they don't say anything. Let's get into some more tarot for you guys. For pile number 3, how does this person feel towards pile 3? Let's get a couple more cards for you. Pile number 3, how does this person feel towards pile 3? Wow, the Two of Cups reversed. King of Wands reversed. I definitely feel that. The Seven of Wands reversed. And let's get one more card for you, pile number. Wow, look how many reversals, by the way. All reversals. 4 out of 6 reversals. So we got the Knight of Swords reversed. So yes, they definitely want to reach out to you. They definitely imagine or think about reaching out. There's definitely that part of their mind that wonders, like, what would they say? Should I contact them? Should I text them? They may even type out the text, type out the Instagram message, and then go back and delete it. Or, they may have you blocked on their phone, or they deleted your number because they would like get drunk and then they would think about, should I reach out? Should I say something? They may like deliberately avoid looking at your page on Instagram or whatever because they would feel so tempted to say something. And with the the King of Cups reversed, they definitely could be in that energy right now of having multiple hookups or pursuing other short-term relationships for the purposes of distracting themselves, for the purposes of pretending like it's all good and I don't care and I'm not bothered. And, I feel like they live in that very momentary place of just feeling what they can do to feel good in the moment, focusing on their temporary feelings rather than their long-term goals. And I also feel like this person, like I said, they're very ego-driven, which means a lot of times that is propping up a lack of genuine self-esteem, where maybe they feel like the more people they hook up with or the more people that like them, that's some kind of hole that can be filled inside them. Like, well, if this person likes me, then maybe I'm not so bad. If lots of people like me and want to date me, then maybe I'm not so bad. And I feel like that is something that hasn't really worked so well. As much as they may try to seek out these relationships and get that validation, I feel like their connection with you felt so much better. That connection with you did so much more for their self-esteem, but it's almost like they realized it too late. It's like they weren't willing to accept that. They weren't willing to take the risk and fully go for it and fully admit. So yeah, I feel like now they kind of are trapped in this little vicious cycle. And I feel like for them, whether they've realized that yet or they're going to realize it in the future, but they're going to have to realize that temporary relationships and someone who doesn't even know you liking you isn't necessarily going to actually help your ego much. That's why a lot of celebrities will say that, they don't really enjoy having so many fans because as much as it may be something they dreamed about, they realize these people don't know me. And it's so different from being understood on a soul level. And I feel like with the Two of Cups reverse, again, this person just isn't ready for that. They felt this deep connection with you. They did. The Two of Cups is knowing someone so deep on a soul emotional level, knowing how they tick, knowing their emotions. But I feel like there's a part of them that just can't go there, and once it's almost like they're drawn to it, they want it deep down, but when it happens, they run away. So they may have even you may feel a little misled by them. Like they promised you so much, they acted like they wanted that. Y'all had deep conversations, but then they sabotaged. And I feel like that is because this person, they do want it. There's that deep part of them that genuinely loved meeting someone like you and was like, this is the person I've been craving. I've been wanting this. Like, where has this person been? I've been hoping for someone like this. But then there's also that part of them that's just like panicked. Like they start to feel that connection and it's like they're off and running. They're just like, oh my God, I can't. I also feel like it comes from that, again, lack of self-esteem, where they feel like if you can see them so deep and know them fully for who they are, that you will run away and you will not like them. And honestly, for them, that would be so painful because they do hold your opinion in high regard. They do think of you as very smart, very intelligent, very wise. So if you were to be like, oh, pile number 3 is trash, never mind, I don't want to be with them, that would just hurt them so much to their core on such a deep level. Let me get into some astro dice for you, pile number 3. So we have Jupiter, aka Sagittarius. Wow, double Sag, 9th house, Sagittarius, and then we have Aries. So let me spin this one again. 10th house. Okay, so we have Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aries energy. So we have double fire, although originally it was triple fire. And that makes perfect sense to me. We did get the King of Wands reversed, the only suit card, other than I guess the Knight of Swords reversed, but the only king. And yeah, to me, it's definitely giving that fire energy of living in the moment. And this is something that a lot of fire signs, I think, do experience, is maybe they do something that feels good in the moment because fire is all about the moment. You can think about fire and how quick it burns. If you have a small candle that tips over and then knock wood, but within just minutes or seconds, it can suddenly light the whole room on fire. And that's how quick fire is. So there's something about fire signs that they really like to live in the moment. They tend to live very focused on kind of their feelings right now. And sometimes that can really stab them in the back later when they have had time to process and they realize that their actions may have been rash or impulsive or they didn't really think things through. I feel like there's that energy strongly for them with just doing things right now. Also with double Sagittarius, that makes a lot of sense because Sagittarius can be very commitment phobic. Sagittarius, of course, rules the 9th house of travel. So Sagittarians can just, when the going gets tough, Sagittarians get going, not in a hardworking way, more in a like, bye, I'm bouncing, I'm leaving this behind. Pisces also have that quality, both being co-ruled by Jupiter. So, there is that quality to Jupiter where it's like, oh, I just don't want to deal with this. This is hard. This is difficult. Let me just leave and focus on something else. And of course, it doesn't usually work long term, even though it may feel good to someone to pack up their bags and leave and fly. to Cancun or to Bali or to wherever, it probably doesn't solve your problem. Even though it may feel super exciting the first few days and you're excited to try the new cuisine and you're seeing all the sights, but long term, of course, whatever problem you're trying to run away from is still going to be there when you come back. And I feel like that's something this person is having to learn through experience the hard way. So they may be already at that stage of unpacking it and realizing, yeah, I messed up, and yeah, that was not very smart. Or they may be in that energy of still having that fun. I just got off the plane, metaphorically speaking. I'm having a great time. I don't care that much. And, I'm happy to do this vibe. I feel like for them, there is an energy of some of them either, again, they may have already left this energy or still be in it, but being in a little bit of denial and not wanting to admit the depths of their emotions, not wanting to admit that they do have feelings. Also, fire signs a lot of times are not comfortable when it comes to getting vulnerable. They're not a water sign. They're not as soft and sappy, and they're not going to cry. I always think of that like that's an interesting dynamic you see with Gen Z, which is Pluto and Sagittarius. And then a lot of the things they will say about millennials when they're like roasting millennials is like the sappiness some millennials can have, or millennials like crying, or being like overly emotional. And I think that's so like Sagittarius versus Scorpio, like fire versus water, is like, let me just, ignore those emotions, and that's lame. And I feel like this person kind of may have that attitude towards emotions or emotionality where they're just not very comfortable with it. We also see that with the 10th house of Capricorn. Capricorns are also not, they are the sea goat, so they're, I would say, more comfortable with emotions, but they do kind of bury that. They're being ruled by Saturn, so it's almost like, I don't have time to do this. And the 10th house is the house of honors, your public reputation, your career. So this person may be very ambitious, and they also, I feel like, care very deeply about their reputation, about how people see them, about what their friends have to say or their social circle has to say. How they're going to be viewed matters a lot to this person, and they just don't feel comfortable with kind of abandoning their self-image in order to have everyone else like think they're a loser. Like that's the thing, is I feel like this person ultimately would choose between having a good reputation over deep love, and it may be a decision that they make now and they're happy with, but later on they really regret it and they're like, that was so stupid. I had this beautiful chance at love. I had this beautiful chance to go there, and I was terrified, and I picked my reputation, my friends, my image over this. And what do I have to show for it? Like nothing, and I lost out on something that was really, really amazing. Aries is another interesting energy. Venus in Aries can be an energy that seeks out kind of short-term connections, seeks out sometimes flings, hookups. They may not be as interested in like a long-term relationship because of the emotional tax that requires. So they may be someone that is like, oh yeah, I just want to have fun, or I just want to go out and flirt, or I just want to like have a good time tonight. I'm not really looking to go so deep. And it can feel almost threatening to Aries. Aries is the youngest sign of the zodiac. So it's like when if you've ever played with like a toddler kind of, and you try to get them to like, have this deep talk about their feelings or explore why they want that cookie so bad and why their, little Lego toy that they're playing with is their favorite toy, and what is the symbol of that, and what are your emotions, and they'll just look at you like you're crazy because they're just, they're not looking at things that deeply. They're just living in the moment. And I feel like this person has that vibe of like, I don't want to go so deep. I just want it to be fun. I just want it to be exciting. And for right now, I feel like that is kind of working for them. Like they are living in this moment and they may feel very happy with themselves. I also feel like a big part of them, they have that competition that a lot of fire signs have, and Aries definitely has, and they do worry about who's going to come out on top in this relationship. Like they do not want to come off the loser. They do not want to come off like the simp or the heartbroken one. So even though they may be having these feelings and they may be very much missing you or regretting their actions, I don't feel like they're mature enough to come to you and be vulnerable and say, I really feel like I messed up. I'd like to give this a second chance, or I'm really sorry I said that. I know I was stupid. They just don't want to do that. They still have this very strong competitive nature. And I feel like this person also is very much always living in comparison with others. Like they probably consume online content that talks about like, oh, a simp or a loser or whatever. And they don't want to come off that way. They don't want to seem like the one who is whipped or whatever, whatever you want to call it. They don't want to have their friends clowning them and saying like, oh my God, bro, you were obsessed with her and she didn't even text you back. Ha ha ha. Or yeah, you sent this long apology text and she had you blocked. She's with someone else or whatever. So they probably would just swallow that, like lurk your socials, never actually message you, never actually tell you that they're feeling something. I feel like it's very hard for them to get vulnerable. And if they do reach that level of maturity, it literally may take years. They literally may contact you when you're like 50, being like, oh my God, I feel so bad for how I treated you 20 years ago or 30 years ago. And you're like, who is this? Like, I feel like there is that energy of them being kind of stuck in arrested development. Again, not to say all Aries are like this. I have a lot of Aries placements, so I'm not, trying to insult Aries. I love Aries. But I do feel like there is that energy. Aries is youthful, it's young, and it's not a heavier, deeper energy. It's the first house of the zodiac, the first day of spring when everything is bright and new and fresh. And that's what Aries really likes. They like to be in that energy of like the new, the exciting, the potent, and the potential, not necessarily the depths of like, wow, we really fought through this. We got so deep. We pushed ourselves. This is like Aries wants things to be fun, exciting, and they don't really like it when, they feel challenged in that sense. Like, okay, it's time to pour my heart out to this person and just really go there. That's why Venus is debilitated in Aries. It's not about this soul merging. And I feel like for you, they did feel like their soul was kind of merging with you in a way that they haven't felt with others. They felt more drawn to you than they probably ever felt with anyone else. And it's just kind of unfortunate that this person wasn't ready for that and that they do engage in self-sabotage to this point. I feel like they just run away. I feel like there's a big part of them that may even seek out relationships with other people who are just going to make it easy. Like the person that would just dote on them, the person that would just bend over backwards for them, because when they feel challenged, they feel threatened. And honestly, deep down inside, they don't feel good enough. They don't feel good enough for you. They're afraid that if you really knew the real them, you would run. So they just want to keep things surface level and kind of keep you at arm's length and not actually go there emotionally, not actually let you in to that extent. So yeah, that is what I have for you. Pile number 3. I really hope that resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where you'll get access to over 100 exclusive readings, and you also get early and ad-free access to my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about who is coming towards you, as well as one about the first quarter of 2025. I can't believe we're already at the end of the year, but yeah, if you want to know what to expect at the beginning of next year, definitely check that one out. But like I said, there's so much content to choose from, and you get early access to my YouTube videos. So you get to be the first to see them over on Patreon. If that sounds good to you and you're interested in joining, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you there. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, a tarot session, astrology session, channeling session, a combination of all 3 of those, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to really customize your session with me, so it's the perfect reading for you. If that sounds good, then head to the link in my description for briarrosetarot.com and book a little time slot with me. So that's about all I have to say, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I am sending you all my love and light, and I will see you again very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye.